What is going on? Welcome to episode 44 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. I have a very, very special guest this week. I got Sheldon from Quest for Pixels podcast. How you doing, my friend?
Great. It's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I'm glad you could make it. Before we get into this, first off, that incredible music you just heard was from On Being Human. You can check them out on YouTube. And they do a lot of video game covers. They've also got a full album coming out. So that's On Being Human. Make sure to check them out. Also, quick word from our sponsors. First, Audible. If you'd like to get yourself a free audiobook, you can go to audibletrial.com/NPC. And there you can get an audiobook of your choice. Today, I started listening to The Ultimate History of Video Games. And it's 21 hours of video game history. Really good stuff. I'm really enjoying it, and I highly recommend it. So that's audibletrial.com/NPC. Also, the chair I'm sitting in, very comfortable, very affordable. It's from opseat.com. If you go to opseat.com, use coupon code N64Josh, there you can save yourself $10 off of your purchase. So I highly recommend the chair. I love mine. I do. I really do. So that's opseat.com, coupon code N64Josh. We do this show live Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This may be the first time in history that we're actually early. On twitch.tv/N64Josh. You can also watch or listen, whatever you prefer, by going to thelootcave.com/NPC44. That's where you can watch or listen however you want. All the links are going to be there that we'll talk about on this week's episode. And yeah, Kirby Geek, hello. Anybody that's just lurking, welcome, guys. We're glad you're here. Let's get into this thing. That was quick. Only a little over 2 minutes of selling out. Now we can get to the content. So, Sheldon, let's talk about you, my friend. You are the host of Quest for Pixels podcast. Let's talk a little bit about Quest for Pixels, and then we'll talk about you. Give me the elevator pitch, man. What's Quest for Pixels?
So, the way I like to explain it is playground chat. So back in the day when you went to school, and everybody'd sit around and shoot the wind about what they figured out in the game and stuff like that. Me and Anthony Baker kind of brought that to the adult level of just sitting there and talking video games. Nothing real specific, just finding the topics that are interesting to us that week, and going into depth and talking just really anything almost. We talk about video games and anything really geek. So.
A lot of pop culture stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a real casual chat, I'd like to put it.
All right, cool. So the playground chatter when I was a kid is that there was a gun in The Legend of Zelda. Is that true?
I wish it would have made it a little bit easier, maybe.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's cool. That's cool. So that's Quest for Pixels, and then you can follow them on Twitter at Quest4 Pixels. Correct?
Yep.
All right. Yep. Awesome. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure to do that. It's iTunes, Google Play, anywhere else?
I think SoundCloud and Libsyn.
Okay.
And then, on YouTube.
Okay. Very cool. Well, hey, let's talk about your history with Nintendo. What were some of your first games?
Very first game I ever played was Super Mario World. And I vividly remember it. My cousin, who kind of taught me the ways of gaming growing up, him and my sister were, because my oldest brother, I'm the youngest of 6, and my oldest brother was 17, and he bought it, and it was just as a gift for us younger 5. And my sister and my cousin were sitting there playing, and I remember sitting there just watching them, just in awe, always wanting to play, but never really getting the chance. But
they gave you the controller that wasn't plugged in, basically, right?
Yep. Yeah, I got the Sega controller, so
I love it.
Never knew any better. But yeah, my cousin really showed me how to play, and it was a lot of Super Mario and Mortal Kombat, things like that, and I got used to getting my butt kicked up and down the screen. But it was cool because I got to learn a lot of cool things before he passed away when I was 6. So those memories I have of like Nintendo stick real close to heart. And I think that's why I've been such an avid fan my whole life, and kind of carried it with me. And I'm starting to share it with my son now too, the way he was sharing it with me.
Interesting. Well, that's cool, man. So you mentioned Mortal Kombat, Super Mario World. What were some of your favorites?
Super Mario World is probably my number 1 favorite game. Like, I have so many memories of that game, failing repeatedly until I finally beat it. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was the first game that I ever beat in like entirety. I was like 8 years old, I think, when I finally beat it. Another favorite is Donkey Kong Country. Goof Troop was great. The Legend of Zelda, and we were talking about it, The Link to the Past. Me and Tony were talking about it last night, and I loved it up to the point where one of the most tragic things in my gaming history past happened. I knocked the console backwards and lost my save file completely. So that was a great one. Another one that I picked up later, I didn't play it till I was older, was Metroid on the original NES. So that one, I don't know, it's funny because when people talk NES, a lot of people go straight to Mario or Zelda. But when I think NES, it's Metroid. I love that game. That's probably that's my favorite on NES.
Okay. How about on the Super Nintendo? Super Metroid then? Was that
I played Super Metroid. I rented that one. That's one I never got to own. But it was a pickup that in Mega Man X.
Oh yeah,
I believe it's the first one.
Okay.
That one and Super Metroid I rented a ton. And then there was a wrestling game. Me and my friend, my neighborhood friend, would play constantly. I can't remember which one it was. It was an LJN game. I think it was WrestleMania, but it was whatever one you could grab like stuff from the audience. And I remember just like the sound effects. So you grab a chair and you would just like completely 2x4 a person. I mean, they just go stiff and dunk and like we just do that for hours, just laughing. So I have just tons of great memories on Super Nintendo. That was the first console I played, and it's funny because it's still hooked up at my mom's house, and my nephews and my son now. I mean, it's never been unplugged. It's always been hooked up to a TV somewhere in that house. So, and we ended up. It was cool because my sister's boyfriend, when I was young, his mom ran a video rental store, and they shut down. Well, he ended up with this big box of Super Nintendo games, and he came over and one day and just dropped them off. And I was like, so we ended up with I think it was 75 different games. So it was just like having a video rental store in your house. So you're just constantly digging through and playing 5 minutes of it, pop that one out, pop another one in.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So from the Super Nintendo to the 64?
Yep. I got a 64. We got it used. We got a PlayStation right when that came out. My brother did, or my older brother got that, and he would never let us play it. So to compensate, we ended up picking up an N64 at a garage sale. My mom did, and I don't know. It must have been 98 when we got that.
Okay. So
came into it a little late, but I still have that one. I actually had that hooked up the other night playing it. 64, Mario 64, Mario Kart, hours and hours of Mario Kart.
Of course.
WCW on N64 is probably still one of my favorite wrestling games. Horrible controls. It doesn't age well. I tried playing Doom 64 the other night, and I made it about 10 minutes in. I was like, God, this was. I was looking at it through rose tinted glasses, definitely.
Right, for sure. Oh, I was gonna ask you, was that Super Nintendo? Is it bright yellow now from?
Surprisingly, no. It's actually the same brand new hint of gray.
Wow.
I don't know why ours never yellowed. It was weird because my friend's down the street, his was, just earwax yellow, but ours never yellowed.
Well, that's cool. You may not have had any of that fire retardant in it, so that's
I guess.
So
I don't know. It's nuts. I'll have to take a picture and post it sometime because it's crazy how new it looks.
Yeah, put it next to your Mini, man. And,
yeah.
See what happens. So, hit me with a few of your just All-time favorite 64 games. GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, any of those?
GoldenEye. Played a lot of GoldenEye. I can't remember which WCW game it was, but there was a WCW game.
Versus NWO Revenge.
Yep, there it is. Yep, versus NWO. That one. Mario Kart 64, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, of course.
Right.
That was just crazy jumping into that game. I remember playing that for the first time, and it just hit me. I was like, I didn't know what was going on because it's like the first like 3D game that I got into, and I didn't understand. I couldn't hit anything. I couldn't jump on any of the enemies. I just got flustered and went back to Super Mario World until I finally learned to play it. But from there, I went on. I've picked up from the GameCube forward. I've gotten every system at launch since then. GameCube was the first one I saved up my money, and my mom, we had to drive, like I was telling you before we started to record, it's a 3.5 hour drive to like the nearest Best Buy. But I saved my money up. We had to go to a dentist appointment up there. And my mom took me, we got it all planned out so we could go on the release of the GameCube and stayed overnight. And I got to go stand in line and pick that up. So that was awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. What are some of your favorite games from that console?
Oh, man. Super Melee. Melee, definitely. I played hours of that game. My friend turned me onto that one. I didn't even know about that until quite a ways down the road, really. I guess I just missed it. I went over to, he moved here from like Philadelphia, and he was like one of the biggest Nintendo fans I'd ever, like everything he owned was Nintendo. Like every shirt he wore was Nintendo. Well, he showed me Smash Bros. And I was like, oh my God, why have I never played this? He goes, well, I have it on N64 too. And I was like, why have I never played this game? So instantly addicted to that one. Animal Crossing, definitely. Hours and hours of Animal Crossing. I remember a couple of my friends had GameCube, so we'd take our memory cards and go with friends' houses and go back and forth from towns and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. And then like the Game Link with the Game Boy Advanced,
Game Boy
and going to the island.
Yeah.
So that one, Wave Race.
Yeah,
I love that. I wish that one would come back. That's a great game. F-Zero GX.
Oh yeah,
that one's great. I still play that one a lot.
I have this. There's this guy on OfferUp near me that is constantly selling F-Zero. He's always got just this lot of games for $60, and I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna pull the trigger, because it's like it's a bunch of games that I don't have, but I mean, F-Zero by itself on eBay is going for anywhere from 60 to 90. So
I know. I actually stopped at a used game store last week on my days off. Me and my wife were out of town, and I saw F-Zero sitting there with a $75 price tag on it. I was like, oh my, I didn't even know it was like people pay that for it, because I guess I never really heard much about it.
Yeah, it's a little more on the rare side for as far as GameCube goes.
Yep. Wind Waker was great. I loved Wind Waker. I had the the Legend of Zelda, the bundle that came with the it had like the remastered Ocarina of Time and everything on it. That was awesome. I still have that one too. That was worth quite a bit too. That's kind of one of my gems.
Yeah, those I still regret trading those ones in. Still, I'm like, why? Because now it's a free game that sells for like $60. So you're like,
yep.
Come on.
Yeah, man, I was pretty much, I was the GameCube kid. Everybody came over to my house to play GameCube. Everyone else had, PS2s at the time. And it was kind of funny, and I feel bad because this is horrible, but that was around the time my parents got divorced. So I was, playing on I wanted the Game Boy Advanced SP. Mm-hmm. Well, I also want a PlayStation 2, so I just split it, and I was like, I told my dad, I want this, and I told my mom, I was like, well, I really like this, and I ended up getting both, and it worked out great. The divorced parent situation. 2 Christmases.
Way to take advantage.
I have one worse too, and this one I feel really bad about too. We were
I don't believe you that you feel bad, but go ahead.
So I had I started out in Game Boy Pocket. My mom got it for me at a garage sale, and I was so excited. But I advanced to a Game Boy Color. I got that for my birthday. Well, we were out of town when the right after the Advance came out. Well, we'd stopped at a store, and I just begged my mom for what game was it? I think it was a Dave Mirra game for the Game Boy Advance. Well, she picked it up. Well, I opened the box, and I knew exactly what I was doing. I opened the box and like tried to put it in my Game Boy Color. I was like, "Mom," I said, it doesn't work. I don't know what's going on. Well, she like grabbed the box and was looking at it, and then she grabbed my Game Boy and was looking at it. I was like, "Well," I said, and she realized that she's like, "Well, this is for a different system." I was like, "Well," and I sat there and just begged and begged and begged. Finally, she's like, "Well, I guess we already bought the game." I was like, "Score!"
Did she buy you the Game Boy right there?
Yeah. I didn't get anything for Christmas that year.
Of course. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was conniving. That was bad. That was that was horrible. But
the finesse. I love it. Superstar 120. That's funny.
But after game, well, so I ended up with the PlayStation 2. And I got into that for a while, a little bit, but as soon as the DS came out and we had the Wii, I mean, just instantly back into Nintendo.
Gotcha. So, if you had to like top 5 Nintendo games, what do you think? What do you think they'd be?
Oh man. So, number one favorite game is Super Mario World. Okay. I mean, that has the nostalgia tied to it too. Plus, it's a great game.
Right.
I'd say number 2 would probably be Ocarina of Time. So that one was amazing. That was an amazing Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
3. I'm gonna say 3 is probably Animal Crossing New Leaf because I put like 400 hours into that game. Nice. That one's great. I feel bad for not rating the Switch titles higher, but 4 would probably be.
Nostalgia is a powerful factor, so
it is a very powerful factor. So 4 would probably be Breath of the Wild, and I'm going to put. Well, actually, let's do this. Let's put Odyssey at 4, and we'll put Breath of the Wild at 5.
Ooh, there you go. All right. Well, awesome, man. Well, hey, speaking of Mario Odyssey, the next question on the notes here is, what have you been playing?
Of course, Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, based on the box I see behind you there of the Switch Mario Odyssey version.
So, funny story about that. I right after the Direct, I was like, well, I always pre-order things, and like if I decide later, I'll cancel the pre-order. But I like to get the pre-order in just in case. That way I don't end up standing in a line at 3:30 in the morning waiting to get an NES Classic again. Mm-hmm. So I've been jumping on pre-orders. Well, I'd pre-ordered it, forgot about it, pre-ordered it again on Amazon, and then because I wanted to get one for my wife. Well, she was like, well, no, just wait till it's closer to Christmas and we'll pick it up then. I was like, all right. So I canceled that pre-order. Then we were out of town, and I was trying to talk her into getting the Splatoon bundle because there was 2 of them sitting on the shelf. I was like, just go get it. I said, it's going to be gone. We're never going to be able to get one during the holiday season. Yeah. So I was sitting there trying to talk her into getting that, and she talked me out of it. And then 2 days later, that showed up. I was like, oh, we would have ended up with 3 of them. I just completely forgot about it. And she could have turned me into stone the way she looked at me. She's like, you ordered it? Now she loves it, though, so she can't say much.
You should have just bought her Splatoon. You should have bought her Splatoon for it and said, oh, we don't have the system. You're a pro at this point, so you gotta just work that magic.
Oh, well, it's fun because now since Jason, my son's getting older, I can start using him. Like, well, we got to get it for him. I mean, he's got to learn to play them. So
there you go. Why do you have 19 Switches? Don't worry about it. They sell just the Joy-Cons, right? There's no difference in the screen. It's all right. I need the cardboard box.
Dude, my 3DS collection's getting out of hand. Like with the Super Nintendo Edition one coming out, I pre-ordered it. Well, my wife changed her Amazon email to hers, so whenever I pre-order something, I didn't know this either. So whenever I do, order something or pre-order, she's like, "Oh, well, you got this?" I was like, "How is she finding this out?" Well, I got on and saw that she put her email on there. Well, I pre-ordered that, and she goes, "Another one?" I was like, "This is the last one. I swear, it's like a drug addiction."
You're gonna need to get her just to kind of like set up the family plan so that So, Mario Odyssey, you been playing it?
Oh yeah, tons.
Yeah. Any other games this last week you've been playing other than Odyssey?
Tiny Barbarian.
Oh,
I
cool.
played that one. I was playing that pretty much up to the minute that Odyssey got released, and because I got the physical copy, it came in this last week. The one that came with like the keychain and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I've been playing. I played a lot of that up to Odyssey. And dude, that game's great. The music in it is just the music alone is worth buying the game for.
That's cool. I have it unopened, actually sitting on my Xbox, and it's hilarious because the case is so stuffed that it's like pregnant. It's like bulging.
It's like bulging.
Yeah. So
they put that manual, that sweet it's like a Game Boy Advance manual in there, and the thing's thick too.
Interesting. Yeah. So for me, it's just been Mario Odyssey because I have been remodeling my house, and so it's been long days, and I'm exhausted, but I've still been able to get a little bit of time. Haven't completed it yet, as far as just beat the story, but I've got to spend a little bit of time with it. As far as my pickups for this last week, of course Odyssey, of course the amiibo that go with it. Right, I got the 3-pack. Did get the sweet little coin. And the poster and all the goodies that came with the stuff at Best Buy. And then I did pick up Rayman Legends was on sale on Amazon. So I'm still trying to keep that Switch collection complete. I'm falling behind a little bit, especially after today. I think like 4 or 5 more physical release games came out today. So
it's crazy.
Any sweet pickups for you?
Not yet. There is a few that I saw. I was looking just tonight. That I'm going to pick up that are on sale. I kind of was like, guess I missed it. I didn't even see that they had a sales page on the eShop.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to pick up the one that looks like what's it called? God, I can't remember.
The Bridge?
It looks like Agent Sully from the X-Files. What's that one called? Yeah.
Tumbleweed? No.
Thimbleweed?
I can't remember. Thimble Park? I can't remember.
Thimbleweed Park. That's
something
it.
Like that.
I was gonna pick that one up just because it looks like X-Files and it looks awesome to play. And then the one that I just saw earlier, I saw somebody talking about it on the Discord, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" So I went and looked at it. I should just grab a Switch, and I'm going to get Shovel Knight. Nice. Treasure Trove collection. I'm gonna get that. I own it on 2 other systems, but I figured I have the Switch now, so I'll play it there. I haven't finished it yet, so
I did tweet at Yacht Club not too long ago and was like, "Hey, when are we getting like the complete collection on a physical?" And their response was, "Just let us finish this first." But basically, they didn't say it's not coming. They basically hinted that a physical release is in the works, but just let us finish.
Dude, so I'll have to own it 4 times then.
There you go. I think I'm close to the same. When I saw Battletoads was in it on the Xbox One, I was like, I gotta have that. So, so as far as games coming out, we got Morphight, which again, I'm just gonna go over these names. I'm not sure what all these games are, but this is on the 2nd. Phil's Epic Philippix Adventure, Sparkle 2 Evo, Wheels of Aurelia, and then that's it for the eShop releases. Physical releases today, there were a handful. Like I said, there's a monster truck game, so don't miss that. Monopoly, which according to one Reddit post was like apparently not even playable, so I'm not sure if that game's in massive need of an update or if somebody just didn't know what they were doing. I'm not sure, but and there were a couple others as well. So there's just Switch games coming out like crazy. It finally starts to slow down like in January and February. Yeah. They finally pumped the brakes, but these next 8 weeks, out of control.
I know, just the first 10 days in November is just nuts.
Yeah, it's like rip my wallet. It's game over. It is game over. So, handful of releases, some good stuff. Make sure to you know, you guys can check out nintendo.com/game/coming soon if you want to see the full list. They kind of go through it all there. But Superstar 120 in the chat says too many eShop games, not a big enough SD card. Right, especially if you have basketball or wrestling.
No kidding.
That is definitely the case. And then it says,
Dude, I think
or enough.
The wrestling file, that's like 32 gigs, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a huge game.
So, and some in the chat says Nintendo Direct January Feb with a boatload more games. that'll end up being the case for sure. So, well, let's jump into the news and our talking points here. Rocket League finally gets a release date, November 14th. That'll be the second time I purchase that game. That is for sure.
I was gonna pick this up on my PC, and I never did. And then I heard that it was coming to Switch, and I've just held off. Same thing I did with like Stardew Valley. I actually picked Stardew up, and then heard it was coming to Switch, so I just held off on playing it because I wanted to play it on the Switch. But I'm excited for Rocket League. Just from like I've watched some streams and stuff of it, and it just looks like a blast.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things is going to be able to sit down in my living room with my my daughters or whatever. It could be playing on the Xbox, and I could be playing right there on the Switch. And that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a blast.
See, and it has cross-play compatibility, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
so we
that's
can all,
awesome.
We can go 3-on-3 versus other people online or whatever. But the one thing that I may hold off on is see if they do. Right now, the logo on Nintendo.com shows it as a digital release. So I'm not positive that it's coming physical that same day, or if it's coming physical at all. I need to do a little more research, but hopefully physical.
Physical. I love seeing, with the digital age and stuff, I went a lot like on the Wii U. I started picking digital up, and then I didn't like not having this collection on my shelf. It kind of bugged me. So, I try to pick up as many physical copies as I can. Plus, it keeps the, storage space on my SD card freed up. But, if there's a physical release of a game, and especially, a lot of times, if the digital version comes out first, I'll pick that up, and if it's a game that I really like, I'll buy the physical copy too, just because I want to support them and I want to have it on my shelf.
For sure. So, jumping in to another news topic here. It says Nintendo can track players' habits of Nintendo Switch devices connected to the internet. It found that 30% of users play primarily in handheld/tabletop mode, compared to 20% of users who play primarily in docked mode, and 50% of users play in both modes. So where do you fall?
I think I fall into that 50%. At first, when I first got it, I played pretty much exclusively handheld until I got my little office set up out here, and I have a separate TV because my son's at that age. Well, he discovered YouTube, so he has the Wii U hooked up to the 60-inch screen in the living room, always playing YouTube. So he's watching his truck videos and everything like that. So I got my little area set up out here, and I play, back and forth depending on what's going on. But mainly, I've been playing a lot of on docked mode, especially like Mario Odyssey. I like having it on that bigger screen just because, it's an awesome game just to look at. So I fall, in that 50% area there. How do you usually play?
I would say I play docked most of the time, unless I know I'm going to be going on like a, like a somewhere in the car or something like that where my wife ends up driving. But for the most part, I play docked. Although there are times that we'll go out and like just pull the thing out at a restaurant and play some snipper clips or something like that, and it's just great to have that option. But most of the time, especially as of recent, if I'm playing, I'm streaming, so it's pretty much docked most of the time. And I've heard a few people complain about like Odyssey and having to do the motion controls while it's not docked, but I don't think it's a big deal for everybody, just a few.
No, and like with Odyssey, I found myself like, it sucks because me and Tony talked about this, but it seems like they're really pushing the motion controls with that game. which it does play good that way. I did play it a little bit that way when I first popped it in, but I mainly play with the Pro controller because, like you said, I've actually been streaming a lot too, or getting used to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
But I found, every one of the motion control moves, there is a button press for it, and I've kind of just figured it out because it's nice to go back to that playing Mario with that normal controller. Like the waggle was great to begin with on the Wii, but I'm glad we've starting to move away from it. But I thought that Nintendo kind of had a miss there, when they pop up, say, this is how you do this move, with, jerk the Joy-Con to the left or right. Well, they should have had the button key or the key press too underneath of that, this or this. That way people who are playing or, don't, I guess, because a couple of them are kind of tricky to figure out. I just discovered a couple of them just by accident. So like rolling around, or doing the hat spin. So just kind of figured those out on accident. And after I did, I've gotten more comfortable. Even playing in handheld mode, it makes it a lot easier if you're just using the key presses to do that stuff.
Chat is being hilarious right now. Sherlock Logics is currently playing Super Mario Odyssey. Ain't nobody got time to play anything else. But and Superstar 120 talking about the need another dock because it seems to take Switch everywhere, so don't want to keep unplugging my dock. Yeah, it's hard for me to buy another dock because it's like that's a third of the price is like a third of just getting another Switch, and then having that dock. And I know somebody in the house will use it. So,
see, and I held off. I was going to pick up a dock, and then I thought about. I was like, well, I'll probably end up buying my wife a Switch because she started stealing mine to play Splatoon, and I needed it. So we ended up with the second dock, and that's kind of been nice too because we have that dock hooked up to our our big TV in the living room. So it's nice to have that to go back and forth between. Having that second dock, but there's a couple of new options coming out that are a little bit cheaper. There was the one Nyko one I saw. I don't know if it's out yet, but
supposedly it is, but it's not getting very good reviews.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Matt from Hello Nintendo, and he was like, "That just stay away from that thing, I guess." So,
I think the one cool option that I looked at that I guess I'm gonna wait to see until more reviews come out is the Ojo, the projector. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Oh, on Kickstarter or whatever?
Yep. That one looked pretty cool. I'd like to see, how it's reviewed.
Yeah, for sure. Some from the chat says, have you spoke about Mario's new moveset with Cappy? It was better than Flood, in my opinion. We are going to get into a little more Mario Odyssey as soon as we finish up the news here. So we will be talking about that at extent. So just make sure to remind us if we don't hit on that. So yeah, the projector dock looks pretty cool for sure. So let's see. Nintendo said it shipped 1.7 million units of SNES Classic as of September 30th. That's a good number. It's a good number, but keep them coming. We need more.
Yeah.
We need more. But that, I believe there was only 1.5 million of the NES Classic. So they're already above, and we still got a couple of months till the end of the year. So let's keep them coming, Nintendo, please. Nintendo Switch sales top 7.63 million units worldwide. And we're actually going to go to Destructoid.com for that. And it says, Nintendo Switch hardware is listed as having shifted 2.9 million units, taking its total to 7.63 million since release. Whereas Switch software saw sales of 13.98 million units for a grand total of 27.48 million units. Not too shabby. In regards to other Nintendo wares, 3DS hardware sold 1.91 million, while software 7.97 million. This puts 3DS hardware sales just shy of 70 million total units. Though the recent sales for Wii U were not disclosed, the current figures for that console are 13.56 million hardware units and 100.85 million software units. Nintendo has also declared their hopes to hit the 16.7 million total Switch unit sales by March of 2018. This is an increase of 4 million units from the previous target forecast for the same deadline. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. So Captain Logan does make a point. Shipped, not sold. Technically, right? So that's a good point. That's a good point. But those are some crazy numbers considering you know the Wii U and what it did.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. This is a good
I
thing.
mean, even going off of everybody's outlook, of Nintendo after the Wii U, I mean, there was a lot of hatred out there. People were pretty salty, and just to see Nintendo, start grabbing some gears and giving the fans what they want and making the Switch a success, that's great. I mean, it's good for Nintendo.
Yeah, I think one of the things they did right, and we'll see how it pans out come like January, February, but and especially March when when their fiscal year ends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think launching in March really was a smart move because the hardcore Nintendo fan was going to buy that system no matter when it released. So the fact that a lot of the hardcore have made the purchase, now that it's holiday time and grandma wants to buy for her grandson or granddaughter, whatever the case may be, there's a chance that they're going to have an easier time doing that. And so instead of everybody fighting over what little inventory is available for the holidays, a lot of people already have them. And so now we can, it only leaves the opportunity to get more systems into more hands. And that's a brilliant move in my mind. We got to see if it pans out, but I think I have a feeling it's going to. So
yeah, definitely. I guess I've never thought about it that way. That is a smart move. Getting the crazy hardcore Nintendo fans out of the way for the holiday season because, those are the people that are out there at, 2 a.m., 5 days before the system releases. So the parents and grandparents and stuff like that, family members that are trying to grab these that aren't, these crazy hardcore fans that just pick them up on a whim, they have, more of an opportunity. That's really smart.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where these numbers end up, especially as good as Mario is, and as good as their marketing has been. And I hope they just keep it up.
Dude, their marketing's been on point. I can't believe the amount of commercials I see. It's been a long time since I've seen Nintendo commercials like this. It was the beginning of the Wii was the last time their marketing was real out there, and you saw them everywhere, not just like Disney always had a few Nintendo commercials here and there, but I mean, it doesn't matter what channel you're on, you'll see a Nintendo commercial, which is crazy.
Yeah, and even some of the like making this music video before the game launched, and just seeing that thing kind of go viral and people like watching it like crazy and sharing it all over the place. And I mean, it's just brilliant, really. And so yeah. I love seeing that. So Kirby says, I saw the Fire Emblem, I think FE, I'm assuming Fire Emblem commercial 4 times already since this podcast started. So I mean, they're definitely trying to push their games,
Yep.
And now we're gonna see, we got third parties coming on board. So I mean, it's a good time to be a Nintendo fan. That is for sure.
It is,
and it's a really good time to be an Animal Crossing fan because Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is going to be coming out at the end of November. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, you're lucky because you already have it. And
man, I tried to. I have an iPhone, and I was trying to get it downloaded, and I kept running into just brick wall after brick wall, and I was like, I just finally gave up. I was like, I guess I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, just gotta be patient, I guess. So Tony Baker says Pocket Camp is so good. Kirby Geek ripped my phone next month. Yeah, the battery life's already bad enough in the iPhone. It's just going to be, and from what I saw, I think I saw on Reddit, somebody was like, my phone is done. The batteries are done. So, I just want to break this game down real quick though, because this is more of a full-fledged Animal Crossing game. It's more than I think anybody expected. Most people were expecting, maybe something that was a little more of a cash grab, maybe not such a quality game. And obviously, I'm not like reviewing it right now, but based on what we saw, it looks like something that I would actually play on a regular basis. And most phone games, like Fire Emblem, I check in, I get my orbs, and I check out. And then, once every couple months, I might play a little bit. Pokemon Go, again, I catch one Pokemon a day. I do one stop, and if I check the main gym that I keep my Pokemon in, that I drive by, that hardly anybody uses, and I've actually made like the gold you can get in Pokemon Gold in Pokemon Go. Like, I'm doing all right there. So, but I kind of just want to break this game down. You're the camp manager. Isabel put you in charge again. Hey, cool. I'm down. Craft furniture, amenities, and more for your animal friends to interact with. Visit recreation areas to go fishing, gather fruit, collect bugs, make new friends, grow relationships, earn rewards, craft furniture that they love, and have them come on over. So this is the one thing that I think is a step in the right direction for the Animal Crossing series, and I hope this continues. But like in New Leaf, you could have people in your town and you could write them letters and do whatever, but there wasn't like an indicator of how well they liked you. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a kind of a step in the right direction. If if that's the direction you want to go with your game, is making sure that you're, the people that you're interacting with really like you, or if you're like, I want this one to go away and I'm hoping somebody else moves in, you can kind of see where they rate you, basically, Mm-hmm. So kind of cool. And I hope it's something we see come into the full game, hopefully on Switch, fingers crossed. So at some point anyway. Build amenities for your friends to enjoy, like pools, merry-go-rounds, and half pipes. Josh must have never gotten any villagers picture. I think I did. I think I did. I think I did. But I know there wasn't like the heart meter like we're seeing in this game. So for me, it just seemed like a move in the right direction. Customize your camper at OK Motors. Complete your catalog, of course. I mean, you got to do that. And the only way you're going to do that is if you make sure you're around for all the seasonal events, which I think is great, because I think that's really going to hook a lot of people. Like, oh, I can't complete my catalog if I miss this event. I got to make sure I'm here. Now, this game is going to offer in-app purchases. Supposedly, it is free. From what I'm hearing. It is a free-to-play game. It's going to have in-app purchases. From watching the video of the Direct, $7.99 gets you 200 Leaf tickets, according to the Direct. Now, maybe that price will change, but that was what I liked about this is you didn't see the $99 like 2,000 Leaf tickets or whatever the case may be. Now, maybe that comes later on. Sure, that may be the case, but I feel like the $8 for 200 Leaf tickets is not a bad deal, really. I don't feel like, it looked like in the Direct that like you needed 3 tickets to be able to finish the swing. So, buying 200 tickets for $8, you could finish a whole lot of swings, Yep. So it looks like Tony Baker from the chat saying highest tier is $39.99 as of now, which, I mean, there's a price of a DS game, right? Yep. So,
and from what Tony was talking about on the show, he said, it's a from what he's discovered so far, he said, the amount of content in the game makes it, to the point where, if you want that experience, then it's definitely worth jumping into it at that price point.
Kirby Geek says never trust Nook, man. Never trust Nook.
Well, that's the thing. Now Nook's after your real money.
He totally
He's like a bookie.
is. He totally is. Well, I mean, and I mentioned it last week, but this is as soon as my wife saw this, she's like, this is going to be the first time I probably pay for in-app purchases. I'm like,
I know. I know. My wife too. Like, oh god, my wife loves Animal Crossing. So like, for the first time ever, I'm going to have to like worry about her spending money instead of me.
It looks like Superstar 120 says they aren't super stingy with them though, so you can get a decent amount free in game. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you can kind of grind for them and whatnot, you know. And if you're patient, a lot of times with those mobile games, it's like I used to play like a Star Wars command game, which was kind of like what's that Clash
of Clans or Clash Royale.
Yeah, where you like build a base and then you can attack and they can attack you and that kind of stuff. But you have to wait like days to like upgrade something, dude. You know. Like
Clash of Clans got ridiculous. Like I think it was like you're waiting like over. I think it was like 17 days for certain things. Like my friends, they were all like heavy into it, and they kind of got me into it and whatever. And I got to that point and I was like, no way. I don't have the attention span for this. Like it sucks because, you know, you'd be like, all right, well, then they'd be like, well, there's a war and I haven't touched it for 3 weeks because you know, that's how long it takes for some of these things to like upgrade. So,
the thing that got me is that I was going to have to sit and play for, like 4 hours straight to be able to, make sure I didn't get attacked, you know, so on and so forth. So, but up until that point, I was real patient. I was real patient, you know, and Superstar's like, I can wait 3 days for a pool. Yeah, that's fine. Couldn't wait for a base to finish in a week though. No way. No way. So let's see. I did want to point out here, Tony Baker says, there's tons of Leaf tickets given away early in game. They get slower as you level up. Superstar says, bruh, Pocket Camp is going to get more money from people than Clash of Clans. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Animal Crossing is like that. It's like the crack that everyone's okay with. Is kind of what it boils down to. That is Animal Crossing. Yeah, why K-Cross? Why wait $40 and you can play today, right? And that may be the case. You're like, I want this pool now. Kirby Geek looks at bill for next month. Why is there an extra 150 on here? Bob needed a pool, man. Yeah, I'm stoked about Animal Crossing for sure. We're going to jump into Odyssey now, and I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible because I just want to be sensitive to people. I am planning a spoiler cast that we'll do in probably a week or two. But I kind of want to just talk about impressions. I haven't completed this game yet, but I can already say my review of this game is definitely a 10 out of 10. Like don't miss this game. If you're a fan of Mario whatsoever, you probably have already, played it or purchased it, but what are your initial impressions? Like what do you think of this game?
Initially, they perfected that 3D environment because every 3D Mario game leading up to this point, you always had sort of a problem, you know, seeing when you jump, you know, where you're landing, and right away with this one, I felt it was a lot easier to notice your shadow moving and getting your jump placements right, and it controls like butter. It's great. Just running around is great. You know, the vista, the scene surrounding the levels, everything is always fun to look at. There's always something to find. It's great. Just the first level had me for like 6 hours when I first started playing it.
Yeah, so here's the thing that I am enjoying the most about this game. I liked Mario 64. I think it's great. I like Sunshine. I think it's great. Loved Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Like some of the best 3D Mario out there, period. What I love about this game is that you're not pulled out of the world every time you finish, every time you get a moon, right? The power moons don't act as an end goal for the mini level that you're playing. And we talked about it last week, how like on 64, they talked about initially in development of having flags, but they didn't want people just running to the flag and ending the level. Well, essentially that's what the stars did. Right?
Yeah.
It made for a linear experience in in an open world environment, but it wasn't like true open world. Like you could go and explore, but if you wanted to get to the next section, you needed to just
there was always an end goal.
Yeah,
there was always an end of the level.
Yeah, get the star, and then you're back out again. You're in the hub world, or you're flying around in Mario's head spaceship or whatever. And I love the fact that this one it totally has the Breath of the Wild thing going on, where it's like, I see a Captain Toad, and I don't know how to get up there yet. Right, or how to get there, and I'm gonna go explore and that becomes my objective. And then when I get there, I look and go, hey, there's something else over there. How do I get there? And there's all this exploring. And so even playing last night, like I'm looking at some things, and Kirby Geek was watching me on stream, and she was like, you just got to use one of those things over there to get to that area. Well, I ended up grabbing, capturing one of those things and taking it to another spot and kind of looking around a corner and seeing an opening. And she was like, I didn't even know I didn't even know that moon was there. Now I can go get that one, So like just that sense of exploration and not pulling you out of the level, but just literally letting you just like comb everything and just lose yourself in that level. I think it is just a great way to move the 3D Mario series forward. And I haven't finished the game. I hear there's an amazing end game. Fingers crossed that I would love to see DLC for this game. Yeah. I hope that we can because one of the tweets I saw from a guy named Stealth on Twitter was, I'm excited that Mario Odyssey's coming out, but does this mean it's going to be another 6 to 8 years before we see another 3D Mario? And that's kind of depressing to think about. Yeah. And so if we can keep this game alive, even if it was DLC just through the year, I'd be all over it in a second, because this gameplay is so fun and the level design is so great, and the puzzles and just the way, like somebody was mentioning, just like his moveset, the way Mario moves, and like just the way they want you to explore. Some says Odyssey 2, right? Well, hey, guess what? Though we did see Galaxy 2 both on the same system, and this game, maybe there's the potential for that we just get an Odyssey 2. I'd be cool with that. I would be absolutely cool with it. The more the merrier. This game is great.
The cool thing is it hit right at the beginning of the system's life cycle. So that gives, a very same thing with like Zelda. That gives it a very good possibility of another one hitting within the system's, life cycle. And if you go off of like my theory of the Switch, we'll be playing Switches for a long time coming, because of just, the hardware and everything is modular. And I'm one of the theorists that they'll just, continue to upgrade the tablet and keep this style of this console going. But no, definitely the DLC, the way the game's set up makes it easy for DLC to be implemented. Because you have the, your individual worlds. So what would it be to tack on, the star levels, or the star world or something like that,
Kirby Geek says, I had a dream last night that they did have DLC and it involved Mario in France, and he was wall jumping around the Eiffel Tower. I love it.
It's like Assassin's Creed, but Mario.
Right? Exactly. So, like I said, we will do a spoiler cast of this game, but everything I've played so far, every time I turn it on, it's like there's just a smile on my face. The expressions on Mario's face. Let's just talk about that for a second. Like, you're underwater, his cheeks are all puffed up. You sit him out in the cold and he's like sitting there shivering, right? There's so much expression from him that it's amazing. I mean,
it's really cool too, because like if you watch his expression as you run up to characters and stuff like that, like his expression changes as you walk past a person, or he'll turn his head and look, and things like that. It's really cool. And with that capture mode, to get pictures like that, you can get some really hilarious shots. So I mean, just using his expressions.
Exactly. Yeah, I saw one today where like he's leaping. The way the picture looks, the only way I could figure it out is it looks like he's exiting a frog, but it looks like he's playing leapfrog.
Oh,
And
dude,
his
that's
mouth
awesome.
is wide open and the frog's looking up at him like, what is happening to me? Like I just, it's great. It is so great. And that camera mode, like being able to take pictures and get creative right there. Like it just, they did so many things right. And, there's going to be hours of gameplay here. I know there's something like, I've keep seeing so many different numbers for moons. The last one I saw was like 880 power moons or 850, but I don't know. I've seen as low as like 600, and I say low, that's still an incredible amount.
Yep.
And it's just so fun to lose yourself in this game. For me, the only thing that bums me out is the fact that I'm in the middle of this remodel that I'm doing, and I haven't been able just to like no life this game for like 8 hours straight, because I keep like Kirby Geek will be like 5 hours went by and I didn't realize it. Everything's dead. My Switch is dead. The Joy-Cons are dead. I think this is life telling me I need to take a break. Like I that's the only thing I'm bummed out about, that I can't just sit and no life this game like I'd like to, because it is such a joy to play. So.
Oh, I know. That's what I've been too, because it came out. I'm on. I work, week on, week off. So it came out this week and I've been working. So I haven't been able to dump as much time into it as I want to either. Like I'll sit up and like just keep staring at the clock. Like, God, I need to go to bed, but it's like, just a couple more. Well, there's a moon right there. I better go grab that real quick.
Right. Yeah. That's what'll get you. It's like, just one more moon, 4 hours later, So K-Cross says, I love the classic Mario. I'm right there with you. One of the coolest things, and maybe this is kind of spoilery, I don't know. I saw it in the previews and stuff, but the classic Mario, you go into a pipe, you come back out, and there was one area where you kind of turn around a wall. Well, I went back, and the way the camera angle was is it put everything at an angle instead of just a straight on view. And I'm like, that is such a cool looking picture right there. And I can't remember if I snapped it or not, but it like, yeah, the classic Mario stuff, and just seeing them recreate that. And by far, again, maybe a little bit spoilery, sorry if it is, but all the outfits and how they make you look 8-bit or they give you the 8-bit look with whatever outfit you're wearing. It doesn't just transform you back to the way Mario looked at 8-bit. If you're in your boxers, you're in your boxers in 8-bit. It's glorious, So they just did such an incredible job, and I'm again, if you're on the fence about it, I highly recommend picking it up. I mean, even just from even if you're not a huge fan of Mario, I don't know how you couldn't like this game. It's really good. So let's jump into our retro question, and since it's Halloween, what's the scariest Nintendo game that you ever played? Doesn't have to be a first party Nintendo game, because there's not a lot of scary ones, but the scariest game you remember playing on a Nintendo console.
That would be Resident Evil 4.
Okay. All right.
So I forgot to add this to my top list, but I guess it's not first party. But as far as like Nintendo games go, I was in everybody, like all my friend circle, I was in all their faces about, it comes to GameCube first, and I have the GameCube. And man, that game was just, at the time I played it, I must have been 13, 12 or 13 when I got that. And man, there's just some parts, like I got to a certain part that like I had to put it. Well, it's funny because the first night I played it on a CRT that was like the color was all screwed up, like somebody held a magnet to it, so it was just like in black and white, because that was the only way you could tell anything, is if you set the color to black and white. So I'm playing it in black and white in a pitch dark room, and just I got to the village and I triggered the chainsaw guy, and oh man, dude, I lost it. It really got me. It was scary. And even now to this day, like there's a couple of the jump scares. I mean, I know that game inside and out, but just a couple of the jump scares, I know they're coming, and they'll still get me.
So for me, it would be Resident Evil 1 on the GameCube, and just those few times. I remember even playing it like taking it to like my parents' house for whatever, maybe we were doing Thanksgiving or whatever, and I'm sitting there playing it with everybody in the room, and like I'm screaming like, like the dog jumps through the window or, something like that.
Dude, the sewer scene in that game got me. Like, my brother had it, and originally I saw it came with like the PS1 like demo disc.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like a 2-minute blip video or whatever. But my brother had rented it or whatever, and that sewer scene was, I think it was like a crocodile or an alligator or whatever, like comes out of the water. And dude, that game was terrifying when I was a kid.
So we got a couple from the chat here. Superstar 120 says Luigi's Mansion for sure, the first one. Kirby Geek, Superman 64. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. K-Cross says yes, RE4. Captain Logan says RE2, which I believe was a 64 title, but I'm not positive. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, I have it in the box right behind me.
Oh, nice.
Actually.
Very cool. Very cool. And then Captain Logan says outside of Nintendo, the Fatal Frame series. So Destinaut coming in hot says any of the graphics on the Nintendo 64 nightmare fuel. Listen to this guy. I will, just for the sake of that it's actually quite funny. I was playing Arkham Knight on the Xbox, and I was in my living room. All the kids had gone to bed, and my wife is in the kitchen like making my lunch, and I'm like, swinging through the city, whatever, hit a rooftop, and Man-Bat like grabs the rooftop and screams at my face. And I literally like sitting on I'm just like casually like going along. All of a sudden, here's this creepy thing. And I literally just went, ah, like, and just screamed, like yelled. And my wife is like, she's laughing so hard. I thought she was going to fall over. So, but,
dude, jump scares are the best.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, we're right at that hour mark. So tell us all the places where people can find you and your content.
You can find me on Twitter at Nintendo. You can find the podcast on Twitter at Quest for Pixels with the number 4. We're on Twitch, Quest for Pixels with 4 spelled out. On YouTube, you just you can type in search for Quest for Pixels and we'll pop up. Usually the first search result at the top. And then the podcast on iTunes, Google, SoundCloud, Libsyn, and that's also on YouTube every Monday. So we're just kind of floating around all over the place.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well, hey guys, you're gonna find me at N64Josh on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the places. I don't know. There's so many of them. I can't even remember them all. Snapchat, I think, is another one that I don't hardly ever use. But there's all those places. We do this show live Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/N64Josh. You're going to be able to find the show at thelootcave.com/NPC44. You'll have all the links to Quest for Pixels. So you're able to follow them, check them out there. audibletrial.com/NPC gets you a free audiobook of your choice. The ultimate video game history is really good for like the 4 hours that I'm into it. It's really good. Also, the chair I'm sitting in, OP Seat. Go to opseat.com. Use coupon code N64Josh. If you have a second, if you're enjoying the show, leave us a review on iTunes. I'd really, really appreciate it. And I got to give a huge thank you to everybody that tunes in, everybody that listens, everybody that watches. For over a week now, we've been in the top 200 on iTunes, and I cannot thank you guys enough. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate every one of you that listens. And so thanks. Thank you for that. With that, my friend, this has been fun. Thank you. Have yourself a great night. Chat, hang out with us for a little bit longer. We'll go raid somebody. So we'll see you guys next week. Later. All right. Hey,
Sweet.
Guys, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate every one of you. Destinaut, just coming in hot right there. Just throwing the 64 under the bus. I'd expect nothing less. Nothing less. Seriously, guys, thanks for being here with us live. Let's go And let's go raid somebody and have a little bit of fun here. Let's see. Here we go there. You guys want to find somebody playing Mario Odyssey, maybe? Let's see. I like to find people playing Odyssey that, like, only have, like, a couple viewers. And then they're like, what the heck? What is going on? There's people in here? So... the problem with going in blind, I have no idea the kind of content that we're going to get. So, you know, I'll, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I don't know about up, down, left, die. I think we'll skip that one. Let's see. I just don't know. I don't know. Wait, this says John Numbers. Do you guys think it's actually John Numbers? I don't know. I'm thinking it's not. All right, let's go up a little bit here. We're going to find somebody. Here's somebody dressed like a pirate. No, but he's got the name Lewd in his name. I'm not doing it. Here we go. Let's do... This is... Here we go. Hannah Bart. All right. That console was trash. Factor 5 had to hack it to make a good game. Jeez, coming in salty. All right, guys. Here we go. Let's go hit her with an NPC raid. That would be super awesome. Maybe let's blow up her chat. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. So we'll see you guys very soon. Take it easy.